What's up everybody, this is Danny and today I'm doing the camera comparison between the new Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus versus the iPhone XS Max. So the XS Max has a dual camera system while the Note 10 Plus has a triple camera system, also with a time of flight sensor for dedicated depth. So I am really interested to see if that actually makes a difference. And I want to know which audio source sounds better, so I'm going to switch off in between. Let me know in the comments which microphone pickup is better and what the front-facing camera is doing here, because the Note 10 Plus actually shoots in a higher resolution, so it should technically look better. So I'm going to go around today, I'm going to test these cameras in every lighting condition, and let's see which camera comes out on top. Let's do this. Before we get started, let's talk about the testing process. Both of these phones were left in pure auto mode. I feel like this represents the average consumer best. Of course, the Note 10 Plus has a pro mode. If you have time to play around with the settings to get that perfect shot, you can. Scene optimizer is left on the Note 10 Plus since it's on by default. The only changes made to the Note 10 Plus are the beauty modes. They've all been disabled. The Note 10 Plus has a tendency to overexpose by a stop or so. This is more of a Samsung trait that you'll see across all of their cameras. Some people will probably like the brighter look on some images. It looks more pleasing, especially pictures of flowers or greenery. There's more contrast there. It can be more balanced. Samsung also leans towards the heavier saturation, so some pictures can look unrealistic, but this is more of a preference thing, and like any other camera comparison, this does go back and forth sometimes. Sometimes the iPhone has the brighter and more balanced image even when it comes to plant life. I can only base these characteristics off of repetitive results in my testing. The big thing that I don't like about the overexposure in the Samsung processing is the clipping of the highlights, especially in trickier or harsh lighting conditions. This can lead to a loss of detail and blowouts, but props to Samsung for fixing how the scene optimizers renders the blue sky. It looks very natural and not hyper saturated like it was before, so that is a huge improvement. I'm not a huge selfie taker, but the Note 10 Plus has a wider front-facing camera. I do like the balance of the skin tones better on the iPhone, but better dynamic range here on the Note 10 Plus in this scenario. The Note 10 Plus has a dedicated depth sensor on the back called the time of flight sensor, and from the portrait mode pictures that I've tested so far, it looks like it does make a difference. The edge detection is much improved, and there are a few pictures where the iPhone missed and the Note 10 just nailed it, like this railing. The iPhone totally failed here. The skin tones I feel are still better on the iPhone. The Note 10 Plus overexposes the skin, not giving a realistic rendition, but big improvements to the live focus mode on the Note 10 Plus from the previous Samsung phones. Live focus video is also fun to play with. It's not perfect, but it's a cool option to have. There are different background blur modes, so those are fun to use. My favorites are the glitch and also the color point mode. The biggest advantage of the Note 10 Plus, in my opinion, is the ultra wide angle camera on the back. I love having this so much. I wish that the iPhone had this option. I was just at Galaxy's Edge in Hollywood Studios, and only with the wide angle camera can you capture all of this. Especially ultra wide video, it's exceptional in 4K. Check out this full video if you want to see the Note 10 Plus video camera in action. If you like slow motion, they both have very good usable 1080p video. The Note 10 Plus looks a little bit sharper though if you look closely. If you want that super slow motion at 960 frames per second, the Note 10 Plus is the way to go. It doesn't look very good, but it's really cool to have nevertheless. Both phones shoot up to 4K 60 frames per second. Quality is insane on both of them. Here's a walking sample in 4K. They both have optical image stabilization and both do a fantastic job, but the Note 10 Plus has some of the best stabilization that I've seen in a while. Also, the Note 10 Plus can shoot video in HDR10 Plus if you're integrating that footage in post-production for the most dynamic range and detail. When it comes to daytime image quality, it's a toss-up. It could go either way, so let me know which one that you think did better. Let's get to the low light performance, everyone's favorite. The Note 10 Plus does have a faster aperture, going down to f1.5 compared to the iPhone's f1.8, and that should theoretically let more light in and produce brighter images, and for the most part, that is true. But just like in daytime, it comes at a cost of overexposure and highlight clipping. There is a dedicated night mode, and if you switch to it, it does help with dynamic range, shadow detail. But if you look closely, the images are over sharpened where the iPhone looks more natural. Sometimes the night mode just captures too much detail and it just doesn't look good in my opinion. I prefer most shots without the night mode. On this neon sign, they both look great, but the Note's rendition is super sharp and more vibrant, where the iPhone looks more like it came off of a DSLR or mirrorless camera. It's smoother and more balanced. When it comes to shadow detail, a lot of people like seeing more details in the clouds, so if you like that, you will definitely favor the Note 10 Plus's camera. But in a lot of situations, I like the black sky rendition better on the iPhone. This is just my preference though. If you edit your photos afterwards, you can always add contrast to make the sky darker, but this is just straight out of the camera. The more pictures that I look at, the Note 10 Plus's HDR seems to be really aggressive with boosting highlight and shadow detail. Some people want the more natural and what my eyes are seeing at the moment look, and that would be the iPhone, where the Note is giving you the ready to share picture right out of the camera. But this wouldn't be a camera comparison if they just don't go back and forth. The Note just does so well at brightening up the picture and sometimes nailing the overall scene, but other times just looking too aggressive and the image starts to fall apart. I think the biggest disappointment at this time at launch of the Note 10 Plus is the 2x quality. Just like the iPhone, when lower lighting condition hits, it switches to the main sensor instead of using the 2x and crops in, but the Note just looks really over sharpened and overexposed. Look at where this main sensor shot looks comparable to each other, but when you go into that 2x, look at the shoulder and clothing of the woman. It's just so sharpened that the edges have a halo effect. I'm sure this can be easily fixed through a software update though. Samsung is known to push out updates after launch, so I hope this is fixed very soon. Color replication of certain hues can be totally different. In this concert scenario, the iPhone was the more accurate one. The reds are still captured better by the iPhone as well, but it does go back and forth, so it depends on the scenario. This is definitely not one-sided. There were a lot of times where the Note 10 Plus camera looked better as well, and the over sharpening is not always bad in certain photos because it really brings out the details. When it comes to 4K nighttime video, they both do well, but the same characteristics are here. The Note has a brighter overall video, but in sacrifice for overexposure and clipping. Look at this area. This is handled much better by the iPhone, and also the crop is heavier on the Note 10 Plus, where the iPhone remains a little bit wider. This is definitely a tough one. If I could call this a tie, I would, because each of these cameras have their strong suits and weak points. I think it will come down to preference. Generally speaking, if you like the brighter picture with more vibrancy and sharpness, you're going to love the Note. I'm surprised though how well the iPhone kept up here. People always hate on the iPhone for being behind the times, but it still remains a benchmark for balanced photography, even though the feature set isn't as heavy. If I had to pick one camera though and take only one camera with me, I would choose the Note 10 Plus because of that incredible wide angle camera. Once you have it, it's impossible to go back, especially with this type of quality and the ability to shoot video with it. Little minor things like the wider front facing camera, the different modes, and all those features, the Note hands down has more versatility, but regardless of which one that you buy, you'll definitely be happy. Let me know which one that you picked as the winner in the comment section below. I hope this video helped you if you're looking to buy one of these phones with your buying decision. Next up is the Note 10 Plus versus the Note 9. I'm going to let you know if the camera upgrade is worth it. Subscribe for more videos like this, and I will see you in the next one.